Hello, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to November. The Scorpio new moon starts off on November 1st, and I think this is going to be lovely. The Scorpio placements trine yours, and this will be happening at 9 degrees, conjuncting the Sun in Scorpio. And the ninth degree is also the Sagittarian degree, and it's also happening in your ninth house, which is Sagittarius's natural home. And this is a lucky house. It's a house of hope, the higher mind, positive thinking, belief systems, higher education, medical school, doctors, lawyers, law contracts, the courts, travel, flying, adventures, foreign travel, teachers, gurus, publishing houses, high-level therapists. So very lucky house. Trines your sun, moon, or ascendant at those early degrees felt the most from 5 to 13 degrees, Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. And trine Saturn over in your first house, you can have positive, stable, and secure new beginnings with all those ninth house matters now. You can, over the next 6 months, sign a book contract by the time of the full moon in Scorpio, win a legal battle, develop a positive belief system, change the way that you think in a more positive fashion. You can also learn something new, learn foreign language, learn something, maybe even through travel, that changes your philosophy or gives you a new, brighter outlook on life and some kind of mental breakthrough, especially because having Saturn sitting on your ascendant since I think it was March 2023 can lend to feelings of depression at time or blockages. And I really do see some of this starting to lighten up because this new moon also trines you. So this is good. And new beginnings too. Anything new that you're trying to do with your physical body and yourself and your health can also be a very beneficial time at this point. And you can make these changes that will be very lasting and showing a new you physically by next spring. You can also make travel plans now to go somewhere far, maybe another country within the next 6 months. And that travel can expand your life in a positive way somehow. Mars and Pluto rule Scorpio and rule this new moon and are getting ready to go into your 6th house of health, Mars and Leo, and your 12th house of rest and seclusion, Pluto and Aquarius. So these new beginnings could see you in the next 6 months, not only having travel opportunities, but education opportunities to start new work, or new work could be the reason for 9th house travel, or you're traveling for work and health to go somewhere you'd have to fly to find like a holistic or foreign health practitioner who can heal an issue that you've been dealing with once and for all, and a positive aspect to Saturn over here in your first house. It could be bone related or something to do with your feet, but also issues with your lymphatic, glandular, or endocrine system, as Pisces rules those areas of the physical body. And actually my daughter is a Pisces sun and moon and has been dealing with her lymph nodes like being like swollen. Just she's been getting sick a lot because, Saturn transiting over your sun or moon can do that. And maybe since the 12th house is involved, it could have been like a hidden health issue that is now coming to light to be healed. And with Saturn in good aspect to this moon, I really think it can. But just remember, Saturn wants you to do the work. So if you have a doctor who says, you have to cut back on your caffeine, or you have to quit smoking, or whatever it is, do the work, because Saturn wants to see you put that work in, and then he rewards you. So if it's not your own health, it could be related to a health-related career, maybe educating people on health issues. The next day, Mercury moves into Sagittarius on November 2nd and will highlight your career, your 10th house, until January 2nd due to the retrograde. Venus is here and the Sun will follow on the 21st. Not to mention, these planets are all making a trine, first to the North Node and then to Chiron in Aries in your second house of bank accounts. Ooh, I gotta stop this for a second. Okay, sorry, I had made a mistake. I thought I said Aries, 3rd house. I meant Aries is your 2nd house. So, all right, so all these planets in Sagittarius in the 10th are making a trine over to the North Node and then Chiron in Aries, which is trying to heal and bring in like a fated healing with your self-worth, being independent versus codependent, helping you maybe heal in land or property or immediate family. And because all these plans from the 10th, trending down to that second, there really is some kind of healing story around that about you trying to find your own sovereignty, as well as far as not having to depend too much on a partner's resources. And maybe this is happening for you now, where you will be finding a new career or having some kind of glow up in that 10th house, which also raises not only your bank account, but your self-esteem as well over there in that second, healing that Chiron wound. And there's something fated about this too. So if there are any messages coming through, especially with Mercury traveling through that 10th house, and you're getting, a message about an education course or something like that, maybe you should jot that down. It might be a good idea to sign up for that, as that might be what leads you to this new opportunity and starts healing that second house area. Also, face, mouth, dental work, throat are also ruled by the second house. So you could be starting some kind of like speaking project or something that you're using your voice in, or simply by using your voice in career is healing a wound as well. All right, and a new work opportunity or career change can definitely be happening because Mercury, who rules contracts, we also have Venus, who rules money here, and then the Sun later on the 21st. Again, this is in your 10th house, further adding a light to the story. You can also receive attention or fame if you had written a book. Sagittarius rules the house of publishing. You can become a podcaster, an online guru, or a social media influencer, again, where you're using your voice. And all those things, again, can heal that second house area. If you, made a mistake just there. Okay. On the 8th, just remember, on the 8th, Mercury starts to go into shadow. So we talked about all that Mercury activity earlier. Just know that check and recheck if you're writing something, speaking something, putting something out there online, check and double check and edit, because on the 8th, Mercury will enter its shadow period. Get all of it in Sagittarius and won't be out of shadow and fully direct until January 2nd. So get all of your gifts that are electronic or gift cards, keep all those activation receipts, get travel insurance, check your tires if you're traveling locally. Because Mercury and Sag does rule travel. And let's move on from that story. On November 4th, Mars goes into Leo in your 6th house of health until January and starts retrograding in December. And we'll go right into an opposition with Pluto and Aquarius in your 12th house of rest and seclusion. The 12th house also represents like subconscious patterns, faraway shores, and spirituality, but also great works of art and foreign money and music. This could show you where a job no longer works for you, is bad for your health, causes health problems, because we're talking about an opposition between your 6th house and your 12th house. And these health problems could be due to working in a toxic environment, toxic coworkers, and they might have been hidden enemies. And that's because the 6th and the 12th house are houses of the enemy. The 12th house is a hidden one, and the 6th house is one that you can see. A hidden health issue can also be the enemy come to light, and one that may need rest or recuperation. And but this only affects Pisces, I would say, like 0 to 7 degrees and lasts until January, and will start to dissipate, but will cross back over those degree points, I would say, about next April, but I'd have to check on that to be finished once and for all. These may be the reasons that you are beginning a new job or career. There is help from your own ruler Neptune sitting in your sign, your 1st house, and Uranus is also trying to help out over there in the 3rd house. And maybe a healing journey begins through spirituality, or there's a sudden neighborhood move opportunity, a fantasy book idea, or a creative project to lean into, something new and creative you're working on that you can dive into, music, writing, etc. Or a friend or sibling or relative can come through for you now with a surprising but beneficial message that benefits you. Or you're traveling with them, like to an ashram or yoga retreat, or they tip you off about a job or an apartment or a house that helps this opposition as it's playing out. And these are just a couple ideas that I'm trying to generate, in a way that this can play out for you. On November 15th, the full moon in Taurus at 24 degrees conjuncts Uranus. And this is happening in your 3rd house, also conjunct a fixed star called Algol. This only affects you most if you have those degree areas with Taurus placements. And with Algol, I wouldn't worry too much unless you have a Taurus placement right at 25 or 26 degrees. There can be a sudden neighborhood completion. I can see a move happening here as well, following what I just mentioned before with the opposition. I could be moving for work. You could be saying goodbye to possibly toxic or scary old friends. I say scary because of Algol, and Algol was known as a screaming Medusa head, that was cut off. There could be dramatic conversations or yelling that concludes a sibling relationship or friendship or cousin or aunt or uncle story. I hope not, but if something like this plays out, ultimately it may end up being good for you and good, to move on for your health. You can also get closure. It doesn't have to be screaming or yelling. It could just be for good reasons or because, there's been so many changes that you can agree to disagree and maybe part ways. Could also be due to a project that you're completing and moving on for. You can also, or moving for. You could be moving for something that you've done. You can also have some kind of mental breakthrough here with Uranus, an empowering breakthrough, because Pluto will be helping this full moon out and can transform your thought processes, but in a good, smooth, easy way. Venus is the depositor of this full moon, and she's hanging out in Capricorn in your 11th house of hopes, goals, dreams, wishes, lotto wins, windfalls. These are all covered by the 11th house and can certainly be helping you manifest more money. Like a viral story online that benefits you that you wrote. You can win, awards or acclaim. Venus moved into Capricorn on the 11th and will stay until December 7th, further having you look to that 11th house for ease and good times, go to social events. You're going to be looking good and turning heads and attracting attention, especially if you're at like social outings or like networking events or large friend groups. You're going to be standing out more now. And also these groups can be helpful to you or lucky for you, as maybe we say goodbye to the friends who weren't the best for us, and now new people may start to come in through 11th house ways. They may be Aquarian in nature, social functions, humanitarian groups, charitable causes. These are all things to lean into. The internet, maybe you're starting a local charity event for children in need in your own community. Astrology forums or groups, science, these can all be the people who help you up and help you through Pisces. Take care, and we will see you in December.